So, who was the standouts today?
Just your favorite question. A
It is,
standout.
man.
There's not a standout every day. You know that,
Is
right?
there one today?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch the film. Guys, I tell you what, the scrimmage, I always like this because you take the first 3 days of camp, put it into a live situation. The first unit played really well. Jamal, Nicola, KCP, threw Christian out there with that first group. Nicola, Aaron, they played well. But for the young guys, I think the biggest questions are which young guys are playing well. I think Peyton Watson's had a good camp. I think Julian has had a really good camp. Hunter Tyson, Jalen. I mean, it's hard for me to say just one guy was head and shoulders above the other. Nicola's kind of played great, but we're not posting him up every possession. But the amount of right plays that we're making is what stands out to me. That's all I care about. Are we as a unit making the right play, the right read, and having a great attention to the details? And after 4 days, I think, we definitely got better in these 4 days. But as I told our players, training camp is not over until the night we play the Lakers for our home opener.
It sounds like one of the things I keep hearing is that the starting unit doesn't have a lot of rust, picking up where they left off. Is anything from this camp made you change the way you want to approach the next 2 weeks as you get ready? Maybe they're closer than what you would have expected.
Good question. I didn't have any doubts that they'd be, they had so many minutes together and played over 100 games last year. So those guys know each other. I think what kind of stood out was how quickly a guy like Justin Holiday could seamlessly fit into that. How I got Julian with that group a little bit today because he has a unique ability with his size, shooting ability to play up the bounce. Hey man, if I just run the floor and space correctly, the ball's gonna find me. Now I just gotta step into my shot and knock it down. But I think it's my challenge to make sure we are not skipping any steps, even though that we have a 5-man unit that is on an advanced course for a PhD. We can't forget about the other guys in the back of the class like me, bring them along slowly and help them out.
Go ahead.
When you look at this 8th or 7th man or whatever you want to look into, it's potentially 6th man, a lot of off the ball stuff, some on the ball stuff a little bit. What's that look like for him? The kind of the leap and responsibility and that you're gonna have for him this year.
Yeah, to me, not a whole lot of changes. I just want Christian to be Christian. When CB got in his first game of the year last year at Golden State, he went out there and played his game. When he played in game 3 or 4 in Miami and helped us win that game in the finals, it was him playing his game. Playing with great energy, toughness, having an attack mindset. So, he's the one guy off of our bench that was in the rotation in the playoffs. So we all know what we're going to get from him, and now he's going to have even a greater opportunity this year. But I don't want him thinking that I got to try to do more and be Bruce Brown. I got to try to do more to be Jeff Green. I want CB to be CB and just be the best version of himself every time he's called upon to go out there and play his game. He has worked a lot with his ball handling and his ability to be a secondary ball handler and playmaker, and we look forward to giving him a chance to play like that.
You talked about how last training camp you were looking at Jamal, wondering where he was at, if he was going to be healthy, when he was going to be healthy.
Right. Now
that he had this offseason healthy, where have you seen him take jumps, both mentally and physically, the way he showed up this week?
Yeah, he's stronger. I think he worked on his body. He was down in Australia, I believe, working with some of the MMA guys. So it's something that he has a passion for. But I think he's physically stronger. Dealing with a little bit of a hamstring, but nothing serious. He was able to play 2 of the quarters today. But I think mentally, just being in a place where the game has continued to slow down for him, seeing the game, reading the game, he and I are always communicating about what you see out there. And I love picking his brain about which young players have you enjoyed playing with this week. And he's just in a really good place mentally, which, coming out of what he went through prior to coming back, that was a really hard time for him. So it's just, as somebody who cares so much about Jamal, the person, it's just so great to be around him and see how comfortable he is in his own skin.
Michael, what have you seen from Joker in this training camp? Maybe not just physically on the court, like shape-wise and everything, but mentally as well.
Well, I think he's in a really good place. I always, my biggest concern for Nicola when he comes back is just, the being homesick. You know what I mean? We all like, being home with my mother and our father and our friends and our family. And for him, it's horses. And that sounds funny, but I'm like, that's real. But when he comes back here, I always worry about, okay, how long is it going to take for him to get over that? And I tell you what, this week, since he's been back, I haven't seen any signs of him, like, being down in the dumps. He's been really good. He's been upbeat. He's been personable, positive, and I think the guys all feed off of that. It's so important. Like, when I talk about Nikola being an even better leader, it's not always just vocal. It's also like he's going to set the tone with his work ethic. He can be more vocal, but body language. And that's something I work on as a leader. What is my body language like? And I think for Nikola, he's in a good place. And it's hard not to be. I mean, we had a great run last year. We won a championship. Guys enjoyed their off season, and now we're back to work. And I don't know who put it up there, but I love the sign up there. The first day of camp, it said 2023-24 champs, and this year they're speaking it into existence. It says 2024 champion. So we'll see what happens. We got a lot of work in front of us, but we all share in that. That is our mindset of trying to repeat and be a team that can play for a title every year.
Payton did say that he senses a more vocal Joker this year, and he said that when Joey Crawford did the referee thing with you guys, he said Jokic asked him 10 questions, and he said maybe last year he would not have said anything.
Well, I thought Joey and Nicole were going to get into it. I mean, Joey's a 39-year ref,
Yes.
Former ref. And we're going through all the new rules and the changes, and Joker would ask a question about post defense. Joey would give the textbook NBA rulebook answer, and Nicole would roll his eyes and say, "Brother, I ain't telling you, they did not call this." And Joey had a few words to help him maybe get the call, but it was, and then Nicole actually even said at the end, because I can ask you questions all day, but I'm not going to take up everybody else's time. But yeah, he's being more vocal. He's in a good place, and he understands the importance on his shoulders of being a vocal leader for this group.
What are you looking forward to seeing in the first preseason game? Like, if you had a couple things that you could find out in that preseason game, what would they be?
Our second unit, I think we all understand, Harrison, that our first unit is, when healthy, obviously we'll continue to check on Michael's ankle, but when healthy, we know what we have. The biggest question marks I have about this team is our bench, and who on that bench is going to be able to help us every single night. And that might be different throughout the season, but as we continue to kind of go through training camp and get ready for our season opener, finding a unit off that bench that, those non-Nikola minutes that are always so up in the air. For a lot of people, they dread those minutes. But that's what I'm looking forward to seeing is who's going to earn those minutes off the bench, because I'm not going to just give them out to anybody. This isn't Halloween when you go trick-or-treat and you get a candy bar. You got to earn those minutes, and hopefully our guys are up for that challenge.
How do you evaluate where the team was last year at this point versus this year's team at this point?
Man, I don't remember last year at this point. It seems like such a long time ago. I guess the things that jump out to me are the fact that I know that, relatively speaking, that we have two starters, two core players and max players, and Michael and Jamal are back healthy, coming off extended absences. So the questions about are they healthy, are they going to be able to play, where are they at mentally, those are gone. So that is a huge boost going into this year. And obviously, we got younger. We lost some guys, but, DeAndre Jordan, you want to talk about a great vet. I mean, this guy, he took the guys down to Tijuana last night. He's taking,
Great vet.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. But I think we got younger. And I tell you, the one guy that I think quietly had a great camp, did a lot of really good things, kind of replacing a guy like Jeff Green, Justin Holiday. I think the two things that kind of stand out to me, Justin Holiday's impact in this camp, and then the fact that Reggie Jackson had a 20-game period, playoffs, off-season, and starting training camp with us. I think Reggie is a lot more comfortable, confident, and vocal as well. And I think that's going to bode well for us.
Is there, I know it's probably a nuanced thing because he's so good, but with Jokic, how does he actually expand his game any better than what he already is? Like, two-time MVP Finals MVP champion now. Is there anything he can do this season? I don't know if it's taking more threes because he's when he does, he's good at it and efficient at it, like in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, like I think the one thing about Nikola is I never try to say he has to do a certain thing like that because he reads the game better than anybody else. And he understands that the defense is always going to tell him what to do. Most young players don't know that. If you ask them, well, who tells you to pass or shoot, whatever, I don't know. I just kind of make up my mind. No, the defense will always tell you. And Nikola understands that on a whole other level than most players. So I don't ever put like demands on him because I fully trust his ability to read the game, to react to the game, and take what's there. And if he needs to score one night because they're playing him straight up, he's going to score. If they're going to double team him every possession, he's going to make the right read. He never fights the game. I think that's one of the things that allows him to be a truly great player is that every night you know what you're going to get from him and he's going to make the right read time and time again.
Because the great ones always do kind of add another wrinkle every year, right?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the old Larry Bird, Magic Johnson commercials and Converse and always talking about what they were adding to their game. And, he's not adding a baby sky hook like Magic did and all that. But for many years, it was just Nikola getting in the best shape as possible, getting stronger, maturing and handling adversity, not worrying about the referees so much, finding a way to be more vocal. But as you talked about, the one thing is the three-point shooting. 2 years ago, he didn't shoot it great. Last year, during the regular season, he shot it really well. In the playoffs, he shot it absurdly well. So when he is making that shot, that really opens up our offense because now teams are running him off the line where he gets them lifted with his patented shot fake. Now he's getting downhill. And when Nicola's downhill and reading and reacting and making plays, that's when we're at our best. Appreciate everybody coming out. Trick or treat.